Hey guys, Dr. Dex here. Welcome to the Dr. Dex podcast. I have a very special guest this week, somebody that means a lot to me. His name is Damani. And Damani, I've always known you as Diamondback Damani, so I don't know what your last name is.
Most people don't, man. I'm kind of like Madonna or Prince. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay, got you. All right, well, we'll keep it that way then. Unless you want to change that, that's fine. Anytime during the podcast.
My last name is Harrison. And I am proud of my last name. Like, I'm proud
Of
to be
course.
my father's son and my grandfather's son and all that stuff like that. But most people just know me as Damani because many people don't know another Damani.
Right. I've never met another Damani in my life.
Yeah.
And you're not a forgetful kind of person. I mean, you resonate. So we love that about you. I mean, I'll never forget you. Even in as I get older. I don't know. I've probably known you over 10 years, hasn't it?
It's getting close to 10 years, right? Yeah, because I met you really early on in my journey in the trades industry and tool belts and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah. So Damani,
I learned a lot
explain
from
to
you.
us. I love that. I love that, man. First of all, thank you very much for being here.
Yeah.
I have this big list on my phone of people I want to have on our podcast, and you were one of the first originals. What are we? Are we 30? Are we 30
That
deep?
is 30.
Dude, you're number 30. You're our 30th podcast. Yeah,
Right.
that's a good round number, man. It's a good round
Yeah.
number. So why don't you, for our listeners, explain who you are, what you do, and just give us a brief summary. Don't get into details yet, but just kind of tell us what's up.
So I'm the head of brand for Diamondback Tool Belts and Diamondback Tool Company. My responsibility is to oversee all aspects of the brand of Diamondback, from product to design to branding, anything that's outward facing for Diamondback. So anything that you see from a logo to an ad, that's sort of under my umbrella. I have a number of people that I work with and that work for me, that help me make those things happen. But that's my primary responsibility. I protect the brand, so I work directly with the sales team to position ourselves internationally with where we sell our tool belts, work on total brand strategy. I am probably the closest person to Connor, who is the CEO of Diamondback, and he and I sort of uh, uh, we brainstorm the big picture of the company together. And yeah, so my hand is in damn near everything that has to do with Diamondback.
Okay.
There's only two people that know everything about the company. One's Connor and one is me.
Yep. I mean, when I think of Diamondback, no offense to anybody else that works there, but you two are it for him. And, those are the two people I know that I'm comfortable
Yeah.
with, that I have conversations with. That, like, Damani, he's the guy. Like, I've called you several times, sometimes right out of the wind. Just like, I wonder how Damani's doing. You know what? I'm not the kind of guy that will just wonder how you are. I'm gonna call you. and
Yeah.
you pick up the phone, which I love, because I think there's a mutual respect there, that when somebody calls, and I don't call just for willy-nilly reasons, or just to just see how your day's going, but I really want to know how you are, how you been, or sometimes I feel energy, and I know one time I called you, I was feeling your energy, man, and it was just kind of a crazy story, and we'll get into that maybe in the bonus feature,
Right.
Sorry, Calvin. Oh, Studio Man's right next to me, by the way. He's he's the
What's up,
producer
Calvin?
of.
Hi.
Eventually, I'm going to start dragging him around all these trade shows with us, but
Right on.
he's got a lot going on his plate right now. So I don't know where I was going with all that. I apologize. I go left sometimes.
You call me. You call me,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
pick up. And I do remember there was like one time I was driving, and your name popped up on my phone, and I was like, "Yo!" And like it brought a smile to my face. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you didn't really have anything specific that you wanted to tell me. You just wanted to say you were sensing my energy. You wanted to make sure I was good. You wanted to
Yeah.
send me good vibes. And
Yeah.
like it meant a lot to me, man. And because I really believe that uh the intention that you put out in the world affects things, man. So when you know, and not to get religious or anything, because like I'm not super religious, but I was raised in a church, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my mom always says to me, she's like, the only reason why you're not dead, I think, is because I pray for you every day, right? So,
Okay, Mom. Thanks a lot.
you know, I know. Well,
Hey,
she's sort of reacting to how wild I've been
hey,
in my
man.
life
Well,
and the
oh,
crazy things that
I'm
I've
looking
done.
forward to hearing about it. I'm looking forward to
Yeah,
hearing
yeah,
about how wild you were. But we can be
yeah,
spiritual on the show, man. It's cool.
yeah.
Any angle
But
you want to take, it's all good, brother. So,
no, but
but
I did,
before,
you know, it's the energy, right? It's like she
yeah,
is putting that intention out towards me for my health and safety, and that
yeah,
matters. And like, and if
yeah.
I can do that for somebody else, or you do that towards me, I gotta respect that. I have to honor that.
Right on. I had a lady once. I was at a event, a Timber Tech event, I think, and she
Hmm.
was the orchestrator of the shuttle buses, and I paid her some form of a compliment, and she said, "I receive this," and
Right.
I was like, huh? She says, "I receive it," and I'm like, "I'm gonna
Hmm.
steal that. I'm gonna steal that,"
Yes.
because I totally understood what she was getting at. Is, it's instead of saying thank you, it's almost a deeper
Yeah.
way of saying, I'm going to take your compliment or your energy and I'm going to implement it into my own being. And it just was a
Yes.
really deep moment for me. So yeah, man, I receive it. So
Yeah,
cool,
man.
Damani. So let's. Where did you grow up?
I'm a military brat. My dad was in the Air Force. I moved around a lot. Um,
Hmm.
I was born in California. I was only there till I was 3 years old. From there, I've hopped from uh, New York City proper, to upstate New York, to Ohio. I lived in Dayton for like a year and a half before my father got stationed in Germany.
Oh
And then
wow,
even in Germany, I moved a couple of times in Germany, so I've lived in a couple of different cities there. I finished elementary, middle, and high school in Germany,
really?
and then yeah, yeah,
Oh, I had no idea.
that's so
So
I've been
are you
everywhere.
fluent? Are you fluent in German?
I used to be fluent in what you would call Straßendeutsch, which is called street German. That would be like slang German, right?
Hmm.
Because I played starting from the time I think it was in the fourth or the fifth grade. My dad put me on a German soccer team because he thought that I had talent really early. So even though I went to school on the military base, I was pretty embedded in the communities that I lived in, the actual German communities. And so I learned German from playing soccer.
Mm.
And because soccer is like such a multicultural thing in Germany, I on my team there were Germans, but there were also Eritreans and Ghanaians and Croatians and Turkish people, and so they were all immigrants as well to Germany. So they spoke broken German. So we spoke this what they call Straßendeutsch, or street German, or slang German, and that's what I. So basically, long story short, like I could probably like I can order food, I could buy drugs, but I can't read a newspaper. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure. Okay. Cool.
right,
You have the street knowledge that you need to get around town, but you don't
yeah,
have to get all political with people.
right. I don't know all the big words and stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure. Kiki and I had the good fortune of going over to Anweiler to visit
I remember,
Stabila.
I
Yeah,
remember that. Yeah.
yeah. I didn't speak a lick,
Don't worry.
and
Every German speaks English.
yeah, yeah. I know everybody caters to us we Americans. But
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah,
so that's really interesting. So, what was grade school and junior high school like for you? Were you doing soccer then?
yeah. So, I was a super active kid. I was an overachiever, I think. I mean, that's what you would probably call it. I just think that I was interested in a lot of things, and my mom was like super strict and super uh like she pushed me really hard. She
Mm-hmm.
wanted the best for me. My parents came from the hood, not the rap hood, but the hood in, West Philadelphia. And so my mom wanted something better for her kids growing up. And so I was pushed really hard. So, um, academics crazy. I was like, I don't think I got my first C until I was in like, or no, I don't think I got my first B until I was in like eighth grade, right? So like
Mm-hmm.
that was kind of was pushed up upon me really early. And I don't think it was just my mom. I There's a little bit of me like that. I'm hard on myself. You know, it's not just nurture; it's nature as well. Um, so yeah, so I played. So I worked really hard in school, and I played soccer a lot. Um, so much so that I made it to a really competitive team by the time I was in middle school. While I
Cool.
was in Germany, yeah, playing for a team called SG Egglesbach or SG Egglesbach in Germany. And much love to all the guys. I learned so much for playing with that team, traveling all around Europe, playing soccer with them while also going to my school on the military base.
What nationality are you? Are you all African American, or is your mom like certain ethnicity? Or
Yeah, so I'm a straight up American Negro. You know what I mean?
okay,
Like,
yes, sir. I just don't know.
yeah,
I'm just
yeah, no,
curious.
no, that's a legitimate question. And actually, here's a funny story to go along with that because I think this is really interesting for most African Americans because obviously there's only but so far down the roots of your family tree that most of us can trace due
Hmm.
to the history of this country. But when I was playing overseas, I got a chance to play with a number of uh, players from the continent of Africa, like Eritrea and Ghana and stuff like that. And I learned something really interesting that I remember one time I was in the middle of nowhere out in sort of like rural Germany with one of my best friends. His name is that I played soccer with, Geru Mehari, and he's from Eritrea, which is right next to Ethiopia. And uh, and we're walking down in this town. This town is so small; it has like one stoplight in it, right? And we're walking down the street in this town, and another black person comes walking towards us. And as he gets closer, Gedru and this guy that we've never seen before stop, and they start talking to each other, and they're talking to each other in a tongue that I've never heard before, right?
Hmm.
And so they
Hmm.
have this conversation, they nod, blah, blah, blah. It's a short conversation, a couple minutes, and then we keep going. And I look at Gedru and I'm like, yo, did you know that guy? Because like we're in bump like Germany, right? Like
Hmm.
what? Like, and he says no, but he's from where I'm from. And I said, well, how do you know that? And he said because of his facial features. And he spoke his specific tribal language to this guy in the middle of nowhere. And so of
Wow.
course, I'm asking questions, right? And I'm like, and I learned that there's an actual like like there's so much history in the features, and that's something that African Americans don't understand is that you can tell your cousins and your brothers and sisters by your bone structure. That's Africans can, right? But African Americans can't. And so
Hmm.
I started asking him, I was like, what does my bone structure tell you about me? And he says to me, he says, you have Ghanaian in you, like from Ghana. He's like, I can see that, right? And he goes, and I believe you probably have some East African in you too, probably somewhere around Eritrea or Ethiopia. And I was like, okay. And I just took it as like, whatever. Years later, my mom's having a family reunion and they do the whole like genetic thing.
Hmm.
And guess what? It comes back that on
Wow.
my mom's side of the family, it was exactly what he told me all like 15 years earlier.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was
That's a
wild.
trip. So,
Yeah,
so I'm gonna rewind again because what was it? What did it feel like? Because it sounds like you were into sports and you're into your academics, which is really cool as a young
yeah.
man growing up. And
hmm
what did it feel like when you got your first B? What did you when you saw that report card? Did you like open your eyes and did your heart sink, or was it just like, I'll try harder? Or
well, in that particular case, I really did not like the class or the teacher,
oh,
and so like I got in trouble for it. Like I actually got grounded. My mom grounded me, and
no
I
way,
and it
really?
yeah yeah, and my mom and I actually got in an argument about it because I was trying to explain to her, I was like, Mom, there's so many other things that I want to put my energy into, and I don't feel like this class is it. And it caused sort of like a little bit of a rift, but also an ability
Mm.
for for our relationship to grow, right? Because it was at that moment that my mom realized that she kind of had to sort of like back off a little bit and allow me to figure out what it is that I wanted to do and where I wanted to put my energy. But yeah, I definitely got grounded for that thing, but it was more like traumatic from the side that like I knew I was going to get in trouble. But I didn't care really.
Mm. Because
Yeah.
yeah, okay, and that makes sense. Like if you're not into the class and you're not into the subject and you're not into the teacher, I mean,
Yeah.
you probably pulled a B without even trying. Like you didn't study, you didn't do the homework, but you still got a B in the class because you're smart.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I did what I thought that I could do to get through, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And my father would always tell me, he's like, you cross bridges, you don't burn them, right? Like, and my whole thing was that I don't want to do anything that is going to limit my potential in the future. Now, at that age, I didn't know what I could get away with, you know, leaving out, that would affect my future. So my paranoia sort of was like, I have to kind of put my everything into everything because I don't know what my future is going to be. And then as I get older, I start chipping it away. Oh, I don't want to focus on this here. I don't want to focus on that there. And you start
Mhm.
narrowing your scope, but also narrowing your possibilities, right?
Sure. Okay, so you get through junior high and you're in high school. Explain to us about that because you're still in Germany at this point, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I learned that my passions were well, I fell in love with hip hop music. That first of all, like that was probably early on. That was um in the
What
early
year?
stages. Man, probably the first hip hop song that I really remember listening to was Houdini Friends.
Yep.
And
How many
yeah, and
of us have them?
exactly. And I remember the first time I heard that, I thought it was the greatest thing in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
And from there, it was just like everything hip hop, like just feed it to
Cool.
me. And like I can, and that's what sparked me to start writing poetry and then writing
Oh,
short story.
cool.
Oh, so I was writing poetry, and then my mom gave me a Stephen King book probably when I was about like 11 years old, and that it was the Bachman books, and it's kind of interesting because they're coming out with a movie right now called The Long Walk, which is actually one of the short stories from the
Oh,
Bachman
okay.
books. Yeah, and anyway, so I read
I've seen
Stephen
the
King.
I've seen that.
Yeah, you see, yeah. So that's a Stephen King story. So I read Stephen King, and I discovered hip hop probably around the same time, which made me want to write. So I started writing raps and short stories. And so that was like a love of mine. And then there was soccer, which was another huge love of mine. And yeah, and that was kind of like my world.
Hmm. Okay. So as you're getting through high school,
Mhm.
explained it. So you said you're on an elite soccer team. Did that continue
Yeah.
on? Okay. And was it the same team that you just stayed with throughout your high school
Yes.
or?
So unfortunately, when I was after my sophomore year, I came back to the States I used to come back during the summers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
when I got old enough for my parents to send myself and my sister to fly back by ourselves, they would send us by ourselves. After my sophomore year, came back and was spending summers in Philadelphia, in West Philadelphia, and my parents split, and my mom moved to a different place in Germany, and my dad stayed where he was. And when that happened, when I came back to Germany, I was living in a different place. So I left the elite team that I was playing for because I was living too far away. And from there, I just started playing for my high school team, which was super competitive. Um, yeah, we were like one of the best. There's a Dodge European schools, and there's like a big schools division and a small schools, and we were in the big schools division, and we were playing in like the championships for like 3 years running. So I was still playing at a really high level over there.
Cool. And then
Yeah, it was a good time.
what was your philosophy? Okay, so then what brought you after once you graduated high school? Was it
Mhm.
college for you, or were you staying
Absolutely.
we still in Germany, or what did you do then?
Yeah, so like I said, my mom, she academics, right? Like that's what it was. Um, so she sort of chose the college for me to go to. And I wanted to go in the Northeast. I wanted to go to like Rutgers or something like that. I actually got accepted in some really, really good schools. But my mom was really nervous about how far away from me she would push me culturally.
Mm-hmm.
She ended up sending me to William and Mary in Virginia, which was the biggest not great idea. And I went to William and Mary, and I went there to try to play soccer, actually. And when I got there, I had to walk onto the team. And the week that I was supposed to try out, I got the flu.
Mm.
And so I played that week with the flu. And they did offer me a spot. Um, I think it was on the practice squad, even though I played with the flu, because the dude was like, "You actually balled out and you have the flu, right?" Like, uh, and then I told him that I wouldn't play for them unless they gave me a scholarship, and they said that because I was kind of a cocky little prick, right? So like, I was like, "I'll play for you, but you got to give me a scholarship." And they were like, "Bro, we're not giving scholarships to a practice squad player from out of state, right?" And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Well, then I ain't playing for you." And then I walked off. And that was kind of the end of my career in soccer. Um, and I think probably by that point I was kind of burnt out. I probably played more. I mean, I was playing so much soccer when I was in Germany. At one point in time, I was on two teams during the school year. You
Mm.
know what I mean? Like
Wow, that's a
I
lot.
was practicing like yeah, I was practicing like I was having anywhere between 5 to 7 practices a week and 3 games on a weekend.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, like I was a real, I played, man. So
Mm-hmm.
by the time I got to school, when at college, I looked around. There was girls, there were drugs, and soccer took a big back seat.
Gotcha.
Yeah, man.
So, what did you study besides girls? What did you study in college?
Uh, that once again, my arrogance. I think my youthful arrogance. One of the reasons why my mom chose William and Mary for me was that they had this like liberal arts program where you could create your own degree.
Hmm.
So I kind of went in there like, yo, I'm going to make up my own degree and it's going to be the way I see it. And so I went to my advisor and I told him, and oh, this is actually kind of cool, man. So this is 1995.
Okay.
And I go to my advisor and I tell him I want a degree that is theatrical journalism. And what I was trying to explain, and I didn't know how to explain it because it was just this idea, but what I wanted to do was entertainment journalism. So I wanted to combine their English and journalism department with the theater department, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to create this degree. And my advisor pretty much laughed me out of his office. And he was like, dude, that's not a thing. We're not doing that here. William Mary's not going to sanction that as a degree. And so he literally did like laugh in my face, like as I'm telling him, like spit take, right? And so me and my ego and my arrogance, I was like, man, screw y'all then, right? So like I like stormed out of the office.
So today's journalism is theatrical journalism, like
Yeah,
TMZ and all that.
right. Yeah. I mean
Okay,
everything.
and uh-huh.
Yeah,
So
I mean
yeah,
that's it.
20 years ago or whatever, you were the first one.
Right. And I wanted to study that, and I wanted to basically write the blueprint for it, and it was laughed out of the office. So after that, I was like, I'm
Mm.
just going to take whatever classes I want to take with no aim or whatever. So I took like some philosophy classes. I took like a criminology class. I took a class in Buddhism,
Mm.
stuff like that. And then, and I was doing that for about 2 years. So I got to the end of my sophomore year, and I remember I took my last final exam, and I had to go to the the bursar's office to register for the next semester and declare my major because after your sophomore year, you had to declare your major. So I go to the bursar's office right after my last final exam with the expectation to register for the next year. And she's doing the paperwork and she asked me to declare my major. And I sat there thinking, and I looked at her and I go, you know what? Scrap all that paperwork. I drop out. And she goes, what? And she's like, and I'm like, yeah, I'm done. And she's like, you don't want to declare your major? And I was like, nah, I'm done. And I literally dropped out. I made my mind up at that moment and I just did it and I walked away. I go back to my dorm
Wow.
room and I called my mom and I said, Mom, I just dropped out of college. And she was like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, and oh, so that was like a huge fight, man. So she's just like, you're cut off. Eventually, I mean, she cut me off. Like at that moment, I went from, I had no money, I had no nothing. I had like she was just like I'm done. She's like you didn't even respect me enough to call me or consult with me or do anything. And I just knew that this I didn't want to do it anymore. And I had to make my own way. And from that day, I started to make my own way, man. I freaking like
Cool.
I'm talking about going like 2 years. I'm talking about peanut butter sandwiches, spaghetti with ketchup. I'm on them instead of red sauce. Picking up
Oh,
cigarette butts off of the ground because I was smoking cigarettes back then. I didn't have no money to buy cigarettes, so I'm like picking up butts off the ground to smoke cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? Like I was broke, man. And so like unlike Drake, when I say started from the bottom, like I did, I went to the bottom and I worked my way up, man.
oh, that's the best though. That's the
Yeah,
best kind of come up there is, man. Is when you got absolutely nothing
yeah,
and you bring it up from there, you know. And I have a similar story. Like when my wife and I moved to Tacoma, back to Tacoma where I grew up, we had $50 in our pocket,
wow,
and we needed to unload. Her grandfather had a semi, and he brought all of our vehicles and our moving trailer up on his semi, and we needed to offload the car off the semi, and we went to this industrial park and asked these guys, "Hey, can we offload our car onto your dock so we can get it off the semi?" And they're like, "Sure." And we thought they'd just let us, and they go, "It'll be $50." So my wife's there's a tear in her eye as she hands over our last $50 to this
oh,
guy to
oh,
get her car
wow,
off the semi truck. It was pretty sad, but with hard work and dedication, man, anything can happen, right? So
yeah,
okay,
man,
so your mom cuts you off.
yeah,
You got nothing. So
yeah.
so what do you do now?
Um, I scrambled, man. I a young lady that I went to college with. Much love to her. Her name is Joanne Hawana. I'll never forget her. She was actually in my criminology class. I met her in that class, and we kind of became friends because I looked over and I saw this like she's like Middle Eastern. She's from Syria, and she had like all these
Mm-hmm.
tats and like Danzig tattoos and all these like crazy stuff. And I'm like, yo, I fuck with you, man. Like, there's something about you I like, right? So, we ended up becoming friends. She ended up talking to this guy. She worked at a coffee shop in Williamsburg, where the college was, and she talked to the guy that owned the coffee shop into hiring me, like sight unseen, just like, yo, I got this friend. He's a good guy. He hired him at the coffee shop. So I started working at this coffee shop, and that ended up being one of the greatest things that ever happened to me. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that. So I started doing that. I was in a band, so I was like, in college, I had started a band with a buddy of mine, and so we were actually
Mm-hmm.
starting to do shows and make a little bit of money, and we were recording records, and I was rapping and writing songs. It was a hip hop band. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was doing that and I was hustling, man, like real street hustling. You know what I'm saying? Like I was doing that, man. I cut my teeth in the game a lot of different ways.
Cool. So, what? So, how long did that coffee shop gig last for?
A number of years. So that was my first business mentorship. So once again, I owe so much to the owner of that coffee shop. His name is Drew Haney. Drew went on. He went from owning that coffee shop to becoming like a big time CEO in Virginia. Like if you come down to VA where I'm at, this guy he's the truth, man. Like that guy makes more money in a minute than most people make in a day, right? Like that's what he's on. But at that time, he was a small coffee shop owner, but he was sort of a business genius, and he sort of like
Mm-hmm.
took a liking to me, and he took me under his wing and mentored me. I went from like making lattes and freaking serving pastries, and then he moved me up to like shift manager to assistant manager to manager, and by the time he sold the shop, I was running the shop for him, and he taught me everything, um, like everything from like retail markup, uh, I mean, I was ordering raw coffee beans from countries like Ethiopia and like, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And like Java and like
Yeah.
Indonesia. So I'm ordering teas and coffees and I'm dealing with distributors all over the world. Man, he taught me the game of business and how to go from wholesale to retail and how to price things. And he would go to get, clients and he'd be like, yo, I'm going to visit this place to bring him on as a client. I want you to come with me. And I would just sit there and listen to him talk to people. And I was just a tag along. And, and and over the course of the next 3 years, I learned more from him than probably most people learn when they go to get an MBA in college. You know what I mean?
Nice. Yeah.
And I
R-
still talk to Drew to this day, man. I turned 48 this year and we still text each other, man. He's like texting me Wu-Tang Clan songs and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And he taught me so much. Like he was a big REM fan, so he put me on the REM and we would trade music, and I put him onto the roots and hip hop, and he put me on. You know what I'm saying? And it was just this beautiful friendship of this like kind of privileged like white dude from Williamsburg, Virginia, and this knucklehead kid that dropped out of college. We came together, and in any situation, like that probably wouldn't have worked, but it was magic. You know what I'm saying? Like I was very blessed.
yeah.
Um,
Nice.
and he believed in me, like and when nobody else did. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nice. So when he sold the shop, did was that the end of the coffee deal for you, or?
So I worked for the new owner for about 6 months. It wasn't the same. Yeah, no disrespect to her, but I needed to get out of there. Um, our shop ended up being like, uh, this is at the early days of sort of specialty coffee, right? I mean, you're on the West Coast, so
Hmm.
y'all was into that like big time. But in Virginia, we came
Yeah.
along late with it, right? Um, And so people would come to Williamsburg is a huge tourist destination, and people would come there and come to our shop. It was like in the pamphlets and the brochures to visit when you came there. And this guy from Charlottesville, Virginia, where I live right now, had come into the shop, and he had come multiple times while he was on vacation. And he decided he wanted to open a coffee shop in Charlottesville, and so he hired myself and one of my good friends, Tucker, who worked in the shop, who was assistant managing, out of that shop into his new shop in Charlottesville, which ended up being, it was almost like the story of my life is that, these blessings continue to happen, like these things that like these stars align. So my band was already thinking about moving from Williamsburg to Charlottesville, but I didn't have a job. And then this guy comes in and
Hmm.
offers us a job. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm moving, and now I got a
Hmm.
job. And one of the reasons why I really had to move, aside from the fact that we wanted to do music in a more music friendly community and things of that sort, was because I was getting in trouble. By that point in time, like the hustling part of the things was starting to catch up to me. And so I had been like, so I had been like incarcerated like 2 times. So, and I was supposed to get incarcerated on a third strike, but there was
Ooh.
another, right. So another thing, like a blessing. the judge on my third case misread my paperwork, and he thought it was only my second strike. So like I ended up getting
Cool.
off on a technicality. So when that happened,
Mm-hmm.
my friend was like, "Yo, we got to get you out of here, Damani." He's like, "You're too good of a person. You're too smart, man. We got to get you out of this place. You're going like this place. You're going to end up either dead or in jail here." And
Mm-hmm.
so we moved to Charlottesville, Virginia, and so I could start all over again. And that's what I did.
Nice.
Yeah,
So you started at this new coffee house,
yeah. And that place sucked.
and okay. So, so how long were you in that for?
About a year, year and a half, and I learned because of what I had learned from Drew. I knew that that place was going to go out of business probably really quickly. It wasn't going to last for 2 years. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so at that time, this is at the beginning of the whole dot bomb era where all the money's going into the dot coms, right? And so Charlottesville, Virginia is the home of the Dave Matthews Band, one of the biggest touring bands in America. And there's a lot, and his parent company, his manager's name is Corin Capshaw, and his parent company is called Red Light Management. And many people don't know what Red Light is, but they had probably done something affiliated with Red Light, and they didn't even know it. And at the time, Red Light was starting a company called musictoday.com, which was this massive tour database internet website. And they needed people who to write articles about music for this music website. And somebody had told me about this. So actually, I had a friend that I knew from living in Charlottesville who said that they were hiring. And so I hustled my way into that job, and that's a crazy story too. So I know hip hop music, I know jazz music, I know soul music, I know that stuff. So I um, applied to them to be a music journalist and to write about hip hop, jazz, soul, whatever. And I'm thinking Dave Matthews Band isn't in any of those genres. Why would they want to write about that stuff on their website, right? And their website's growing
Mm-hmm.
very, very fast. So I call up as many of my different friends that live in different states. Now, keep in mind, I grew up in Germany, right? And all of my friends are military brats. So when we graduate from high school and they leave Germany, they go back all around the US. And then I was in
Mm-hmm.
college with people that came from a bunch of different places. So I call up like 20 of my friends and I'm like, that live in different states and places. And I have them all within a week's time email this Music Today company and say, hey, man, I love your website, but you don't have any content about hip hop, jazz, or soul music on it. I let that ride for like 2 weeks and then I send my resume in. So I get a call back like that. And I walk into the office, and I promise you, the first my with the C it was with the COO, I think, was who interviewed me. And I know him to this day. And years later, I told him what I did, and he laughed. Right? He says to me, he's like, "Man, we got your resume at just the right time. There's been a huge demand for this kind of content in our website."
Perfect. Good
And I
on
got
you, man.
Yeah, and so I got hired. I got hired immediately, and I was making more money than I've ever made before in my life.
Nice.
Yeah,
Awesome.
which is small
And how old
change.
were you?
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead. Small
was.
change. What?
It's small change compared, like now. Like, but at that time, I
Mm-hmm.
had never had a salary and benefits, and you know what I mean. Like, not
Yeah.
making that much, you know what I mean? So I was set, I was single, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh man, I got some bread. Like I'm, you know, it's crazy. The first thing I did was like I went to like Whole Foods, or and it was like Whole Foods, like a fresh market, and I'm like I'm buying like vegetables and you know what I mean? Like I got money now. I'm I'm gonna eat now.
Wow.
Um,
Hey. Well, at least
right.
you're treating yourself right, man.
Yeah,
Good for
man.
you.
Yeah, man. So I'm sorry, what was the question? I think you said like how long was I doing that?
But yeah, yeah, it's like I'm trying to eventually get to Diamondback.
Oh
Um,
yeah, it's taking a long time.
no, and it's okay. It's okay. It's just I want to make sure we get to the resolve. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
but
So
you have a very interesting path.
right. I don't like I, I don't like to lose, man. Like
Yeah.
yeah, I'm a competitor, right? So
Hmm.
I I know deep down inside that if I can get in the door, I'm gonna figure out a way to win, right? Like I just gotta
Hmm.
get in the door, you know what I mean? Like, and then I can
Right.
figure it out once I get there. So, dude, I worked music today for a while. It was an incredible experience, man. Like when I was working there, I was like a really active music journalist. I've done like interviews with like the most amazing people. I have like this box of tapes of recordings of me with all these famous artists, like
Oh, cool.
interviews that I did, articles that I did, and basically what I used that time for. I mean, I was writing for them and I was working for them, but in that 2.5, 3 years, man, I absorbed more game because I was talking to like the biggest dogs in the music industry and I'm interviewing them. And I realized that as I'm interviewing questions, I'm asking them the game and I'm learning the game from them. And I'm writing these articles trying to give the game to other people, which made me really like popular amongst publicists in the music industry because I wasn't writing fluff pieces. And so, like,
Hmm.
the publicists would start to call me to get these pieces that would help promote their artists because they were good pieces. Because I was really trying to dig into who these people were and how they got to where they were, and I was absorbing all this game, right? And then then the the dot crash era happened, right? Like all the money went out of the dot coms, and
Hmm.
I ended up getting laid off. Uh, yeah, and then by the once again stars aligned, I ended up applying for this job at this music education center, and due to my experience producing music, performing music, writing about music, doing all that stuff that all had been happening in the background, I got this job there. And then I helped build that program up, and that's called the Music Resource Center, and that was actually partially funded by the nonprofit arm of the Dave Matthews Band. So there's all this sort of
Oh,
incestuous
wow.
sort of connection there. And then I went on to be a music educator and build that program up, and I started teaching the game to kids, man, to like high schoolers, right?
Cool.
And then and because of that I started selling education programs to the public schools and to the community colleges to help give the game to people coming up, man. And that's like, and then okay, so let's get to Diamondback. So all that's happening, and there's some trips in the road, some bumps in the roads, and I have this huge falling out. There's a new director brought into the Music Resource Center. I'm there for like over a decade, man, like 14 years, building this program up. They get a new director. This woman looked at my face and didn't like me. You know, you ever met somebody like that? You just like
Yeah.
you didn't do nothing, man. She just looked at me and was
No.
like, right. Um,
Dang.
Yeah, so we had it out pretty early on with like the first 2 days. And she did some foul stuff, and then I ended up having to leave that position. Um, and I went into a depression. And I'm gonna say a depression, it was terrible. Like I was depressed for probably about 2 years. I didn't leave the crib. I didn't do nothing. Um,
Wow.
Yeah, because I was at the top, man. I was like touring, doing hip hop music with my group, man. I'm getting money. I'm doing good. I'm teaching kids. Like I'm doing all this crazy stuff, man. I got a following, and then this thing just happens where this woman accused me some really awful things that I didn't do in order to get me pushed out, and I just couldn't understand how someone could disparage my name in that way, and yeah, it really broke my heart, man, because I was putting everything
Mm.
I was putting everything I could into my community, and just to be stabbed in the
Damn.
back that way, it killed me. So uh, I'm sitting at home in a 2 year depression, and I see an email pop up. I'm on this like email list for pickup soccer, and an email comes from Connor Crook, who's this guy I know sort of loosely because I've played against him for years in the men's leagues, and
Mm-hmm.
he and I got to know each other really well when he split my head open and a head like we were both going up for a header, and he um my shit up, man, and he ended up getting stitches, and my whole head blew up like this, and I had a concussion for like 3 weeks. Anyway, he sends this email out saying he needs help with his new company, and he needs help packing boxes. And I was like, man, I ain't doing shit, but like I'm like part-time teaching, collecting some like severance checks, and I need something to do to get myself out of this funk. So
Mm-hmm.
I emailed Connor. I'm like, yo, I'll come in. You know what I'm saying? I'll pack some boxes. Like I'm not doing shit, right.
Mm-hmm.
So he says the last person he expected to hear from was me. And he's like, "Yo, Damani, can I call you?" Because he like knows me around town. He knows that I've like built work nonprofit. I've done like I mean I'm not a rando, right? You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
he's like, "Can I?" Yeah. So he's like, "Yo, can I call you?" And so I put this on everything. I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'm available probably like 9 p.m. It's like on a Friday night or whatever." So we get on the phone 9 p.m. He and I talk for like 4 hours as he's like breaking down this Diamondback thing, this company that he just acquired, that he's like fulfilling out of this tiny room. And like while he's
Mm-hmm.
telling me about it, I'm on the computer like Googling. Man, let me tell you, I don't know nothing about that has to do with the trades at this point in time, Ben. I gotta be honest. But I
Sure.
understand business and I understand people. So I'm like Googling, I'm learning. I'm like, okay, these tool belt companies out here, blah 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 blah. And by the end of this 4 hour conversation, I'm like, bro, you are on to something. And I was like, I think I can help you for real. And he was like, well, let come in on Monday and let's talk. And that was the beginning. And he and I decided that we were going to try to revolutionize this market, like, and we weren't going to fail at it. Like remember I said before, I don't like, if I get me in the door, I'm not going to lose, man. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I made up my mind right there because this is what I saw. I saw a bunch of human beings that were being neglected, like that were essential to my world, right? Like that were being neglected by everyone in the commercial retail space. So, I'm an athlete. If I want a fucking pair of sneakers that don't give me bunions, I can find it. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
a musician. If I want a program that can top up these samples, I can find it. There's all these people developing all these things for all these. And here is this essential group of human beings that I respect more than anything because I was teaching a music program that was adjacent to a trade school. So I understood you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm seeing these people that are being neglected. And I was like, if someone paid as much attention, and I made this term in my head, the labor athlete, right? If they paid
Yeah.
attention to
Yeah.
them in the same way someone paid attention to the basketball player or the soccer player or the football player, then it could revolutionize and change the lives of people who are doing the most essential work every day. That's my pitch, man. That's why I'm here.
Cool. I love it.
That,
So
and
you
that,
guys had
that's
a one room warehouse.
yeah,
That's
dude.
where you started.
It's smarter than the room that I'm in right now. It was crazy. Like our desks were like
Mm-hmm.
butted up against each other, and we had just enough room for like the a couple of like racks where we put some boxes. I mean, I think the first year I was there, the company grossed 150,000 in sales, right? Like I
Mm-hmm.
mean, Connor couldn't even pay his rent with that money. You know what I'm saying? Like, because when you net, you bring it home. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't bringing home no
Right.
money, right?
Right.
Um, this and so it's what, like 9 years later, and we're worth a lot more than $150,000.
Amen.
Amen.
I love it.
Yeah.
So when you got hired at
hmm
Diamondback, what was your title originally?
I was packing boxes, bro.
Okay.
I was packing
And then
orders.
over the so okay. So how did you roll into the marketing creative marketing that you are now? How did that transpire?
Um, well, I packed boxes for a long time because that helped me learn the product. And then
Mhm.
as the company's like it's creeping, growing very slowly. So Connor's on the phone all the time. He's answering emails, and then like Connor's kind of got a little bit of a short fuse. I don't know if you've met him before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
We've had a few discussions.
yeah. And so one day I saw him. I don't know if it was like he got pissed off at some customer or whatever, and like I was just like, man, you shouldn't be doing that. Like not getting pissed off at a customer. Everyone's human, right? Like you can get mad, but I'm like, maybe you shouldn't be the one in customer service for the company, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, let me try, right? So I took
Yeah.
over answering all the emails and picking up the phone, and then I learned more. And from there, now I'm talking to people in the trades 10 people a day, 20 people a day, 30 people a day, 50, 100. Now I'm learning, man. What do tradespeople
Mhm.
want? What are their pain points? What are they looking for? And for the next couple of years, I'm just absorbing all this information. Like, dude, I cannot tell you how valuable it was for me to sit there. I've talked to probably 20 to 30,000 different tradespeople internationally in the last nine
Wow.
years. You see what I'm saying? Like
Mhm. It's a lot.
what I got such a great and here it is. And let me back up. I didn't talk to 20 to 30,000. I listened to 20 to 30,000 tradespeople. That's what's most important, man. I just ask questions and listen and ask questions and listen. And Connor was like, to the whole marketing thing, like he's seeing me do that and he's seeing people really respond and people talking to me and then making a purchase. And he's like, yo, you really know how to explain the product to people. And I'm like, well, I was a teacher. You know what I mean? Like I did that, right? I'm
Mhm.
a rapper.
Mhm.
Like I know, you know what I'm saying? Like I have to learn how to use words. And he's like, you want to start writing product descriptions and then like he's like, do you know? And I come from the hip hop world, all DIY, man. I knew people that did videos and photography. He's like, you want to bring your boys in to take some pictures and do some videos, so he starts giving me money to hire them. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I'm bringing these guys in, and we're starting to build the company that way. And he's like, and he and I are learning business at the same time, right? Because he's a lawyer, ex-lawyer, and
Oh,
now
okay.
we're
I didn't know
right.
that either.
Yeah, so he didn't know how to run a business, and
Mhm.
I have been working with nonprofits and stuff like that. So I had an idea, but I had never run like a full on red-blooded capitalist enterprise, right? So there was
Mhm.
a lot we had to learn, man. And so we learned together. Connor, being an academic himself, he was constantly handing me books. He's like, read this book, read this article, blah, blah, blah. So I go home every night. I'm reading this book on this article. Okay, this is how we got to do this, blah, blah. We come back, we talk about it. Okay, this is what we're going to do. Once again, we got in the door, we had to figure it out. And that's what we did. And we fucked up, man. We made some mistakes along the way, man. We did some pretty bad mistakes, man. But like my whole thing was that, like, yo, it's not a bad mistake if we make it right, you know? And my whole thing was like,
Yeah.
if I piss somebody off, then I was going to do everything in my power to get them back in the fold, right?
That's how you grow, bro. That's how you grow. You fail. You grow by your
Yeah,
failures, right?
dude, we
And
failed
we've all
bad.
had them.
We almost tanked the
What?
company
What?
3 times.
How so?
Oh, dude, just different ways, man. Trying to expand too quickly, not doing the proper R&D on research, having to recall products, not managing the money well. Like, I don't even think, and Connor would tell you this, I don't even think we had like actual real financials until like 5 or 6 years into the company. Like, we were operating the company like based off of like, yo, is the money in the bank account? Okay, spend it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like we didn't
I
understand
get it.
margin. We didn't like, you know what I'm saying? Like we were trying to at one point in time we were growing so fast that we didn't even know where we were going to get our product made, right? Like we were like calling manufacturing facilities around the United States like, "Hey, yo, can we we have orders, man. Could y'all make this?" Like, you know what I'm saying? We try to like we're doing this on the fly. You feel what I'm saying? And then COVID
Mm-hmm.
hits right when we're like
Oh
figuring it
yeah.
out.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, we could have
Yeah.
definitely we definitely could have tanked the company during COVID. You know what I mean? And I don't, dude. I've said this to Connor once again. Stars aligning, blessings. I don't know. I can't. I cannot explain it to you, brother. And I said this to Connor multiple times. I've looked at him and been like, I don't know what it is, but someone doesn't want you to fail. Because every time we think it is about to go completely south, something just happens. And like I remember one time we didn't think we were going to be able to make any of our freaking like payments. We were at the point we were about to like come. The Connor's like, dude, like we got enough money to run the company for like 9 more days, right? And like and we're just like, what are we gonna do? And I'm like, bro, we just gotta keep moving. We just gotta keep doing what we're doing. Something's gonna happen, dude. On like the eighth day, we got a fucking PO from a major dealer for like $250,000, b.
Nice.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
amazing.
Like it
Yeah,
was
that's
just
amazing.
crazy like that has happened this entire journey with Diamondback. You know what I mean? Like
Wow.
I
Well, it
can't
makes it for
explain
an
it,
interesting ride, huh?
dude. I got gray hair, Jace, man. I got grays.
Hey man, but let's speak on the lighter side of this now because
Hmm.
now okay, so we're gonna talk a little bit about a couple things because the
Hmm.
last three times I've tried to get with you,
Yeah.
unfortunately for you, you've been in some precarious situations where you were not able to attend JLC live. You
Yeah.
weren't at this particular show because I go, "Where's Damani?" Oh, he couldn't make it. He's not
Yeah.
here. You guys had great backup, and your booths look amazing.
Right, right.
What I've seen recently, you guys got a really pro setup, and it basically you guys set it up so almost you could have just about anybody as long as they kind of know what they're talking about. You could have
Yeah.
just about anybody come in and rep the product.
Yeah.
And but I've been a little bit on this on the disappointed side just because my friend wasn't
Yeah,
there.
man, I missed
You
you.
know,
Dude,
yeah,
son.
man, like 3 times in a row. I'm like, come on. I was like,
Right.
does he know I'm here because he doesn't want to talk to me, or what's going on, man? Because
Oh,
he's just not
no,
there.
dude. It was, man, dude, I got, JLC was messed up because I went to IBS and I came back with the Vegas freaking disease, man. It was like something
Ah,
like I got like COVID squared. Like, man, I had like the
oh,
worst, dude. I, I've been sick, but I ain't been, like, I was sick for like 17 days, man. Something like that.
yeah. I heard it was bad.
Yeah, it was really bad, man. So I missed JLC. So I wasn't able to go out there, which I really like the JLC show, man, because I get to see so many amazing people, and I'm
Hmm.
kind of getting to like Providence. Yeah, so I gotten sick, and then a couple of shows that I haven't been able to go to because I'm like so busy with Diamondback now, and like
Hmm.
you know. it used to be Connor and I. Now I think we're staffed at like, I think we're like 20 something people now.
Yeah.
With, you know,
Wow.
like we have something like, I think like 30 retail locations that carry our stuff, dealers in like 6 countries, and you know what I mean? And like we're constantly
Hmm.
expanding, and and if Connor travels, then someone's got to sort of stay back to
Yeah.
manage things. And for what
Yeah.
it's worth, Connor is slowly been phasing himself out completely of the day-to-day operations. Like he's there to consult, he works with accounting to manage money, but a large bulk of the responsibility of the company is on my shoulders now. And like, I mean, I work directly with him, but in
Hmm.
terms of just a lot of the strategy, it's coming from in here and trickling down. And I've got an incredible team. First of all, there is no ego with me in this company. I've got like I couldn't do anything without Connor. I couldn't do anything without my design team, my creative team, my marketing guys, my ops guys, my guys in the warehouse. It's an amazing family. I listen to them. They tell me what they need, they tell me where they think we should be going, and then I try to craft a sort of holistic plan for the company based around what we can do and where we envision ourselves going. So there's no ego involved, but I'm sort of like conducting now. Um,
I
the
love
sh-
it. I
yeah,
love that. I love that for you. I am so proud of you.
thank you,
Diamondback Damani.
thank
Dr.
you.
Dex is proud of you because I've seen this struggle. I didn't know you very well back then, but we're gonna jump. We're gonna conclude our standard podcast, and we're gonna
Word.
jump into our bonus episode because I want to build on this, and I have a little comment for you that I'm gonna wait to tell you because it's kind of how I really started my relationship with you and Connor.
Okay.
So, Damani, thank you so much for being on
Yeah.
our podcast. We're so grateful for you. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank
But
you.
we're gonna get more into the mechanics of everything here in just a little bit. So,
Yeah.
if you're listening to this and you want to hear more from Damani, you're gonna have to go over to Patreon and get on the Dr. Dex Patreon channel and subscribe there, guys. It's only what, like $100 a month or something like that. $5 a month. That's all it is, man. It's cheap. We're going so cheap. It's ridiculous. And we
It's
have,
less than a cup of Starbucks.
man, it's
Yeah.
less than a medicine ball. It's less than a medicine ball
Just skip it
Word.
today and
with 4 shots of honey. I'm telling you, that's,
throw us a fiver.
my wife got me hooked on those things. And every time I go for a coffee, I just add a medicine ball to the south side. Okay, we're going
Right.
out, guys. Damani, thank you so much for being
Yo,
on our
thank you so
podcast.
much for having me,
You're
man.
you're
This is
amazing.
great.
You're amazing
Thank
spirit,
you.
man. You got good energy, and we love you.
Thank,
So,
thank you.
let's go over Patreon. Studio Man, hit that music. All right, guys, thanks for listening and watching. And if you're on YouTube's watching this, please hit that subscribe button. Why don't you? Right now. Okay, guys, over and out.
Peace.